Hey everybody, welcome to BBQ Champs Academy Live. I'm Mike Steele, and it's going to be a great show tonight. We've got an unbelievable steak cooker. We have our 2019 SCA World Points Champion Matt Ouverson is with us tonight. We're going to give everybody just a few moments to come in, and as you come in, if you let us know that you are here, we'll certainly try to answer any questions that you may have. We've got Matt in the green room on hold. We want to kind of go ahead and let everybody get in. But once again, we appreciate you being here. I think we're going to have a great show tonight. We're looking forward to talking with Matt. And if you've got any questions for Matt, make sure that you let it be made known to us in the comments. If you come in, just shoot us a comment to let us know that you are here. And we will certainly get to the questions that you have for us. Hey, Mr. Frank, how are you doing? It's going to be a great show. Hope you'll pick up some stuff from Matt tonight. So we're going to let people continue to come in. Before we get started, we certainly do want to thank all of our partners that help make all of this possible. Our buddy at Danny at Be Extreme Barbecue, Papa Joe Grilling Supplies. He's our newest sponsor, and we'll talk a little bit more about him and how he's involved with Matt's class. We've also got B&B Charcoal. Had some great shows that we did with Ed at B&B and describing a lot of the charcoal and stuff they have. If you haven't watched that episode, you really need to go check it out. Last week we had Brian, who owns Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. And I mean, we had a great show last week. Once again, congratulations to Brian Crawford on his rub getting best rub on the planet. And it's his Crawford's Barbecue Pit Products. Craig Sherry at Texas Pepper Jelly, and Mr. David at Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. We had him on the show about 3 weeks ago, and I tell you what, I learned a tremendous about knives, whether from the steel, the sharpening, and everything. It was just a great educational video. And so if you haven't watched those, we'd certainly encourage you to go back and check them out there in our archives. They're also on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to BBQ Champs Academy's YouTube channel, please do so. Man, we've cranked up over 100 subscribers in the last month. We appreciate it. So you can watch these shows not only on our Facebook page, on our live, but you can also watch them on our YouTube channel as well. Well, with that said, we got some folks coming in. Troy, hey buddy, it's good to have you here. I caught you on the Arcasippy Live show with Matt, or with John and Ronald Burns, and I tell you what, it was a great show. So when we certainly do want to give a big shout out to our friends over at Arcasippy Live, John Lindsay and Ronald Burns. They had a phenomenal show last night with Johnny Joseph and Alan Newton. Very, very dear friend of mine, Alan Newton. I met him at a barbecue competition when I first got started, and I tell you what, it was great seeing him on there. It's great having him part of BBQ Champs Academy. With that said, it is time to bring in our guest tonight. He is the 2019 SCA World Points Champion. And we're going to go ahead and bring him in. And there is the man of the hour, Mr. Matt Ouverson. Hey, Matt, how are you doing, buddy?
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. We got folks steadily coming in. And we have got some people that are looking forward to hearing what you have to say. So, yeah, Danny, I'm kind of excited to hear about him as well. We're going to find out what he has to say and his involvement now with BBQ Champs. If you did not catch it last night, it has been running rampant across the social media platform on Facebook, but we launched his class last night at about 6:30. I can't tell you how many classes he sold, but it has been a lot of them, and I know it's reached well over 25,000 people and gotten well over 5,000 views just on his video alone. So, Matt, congratulations once again. Thank you for being part of BBQ Champs Academy. We are honored, buddy, to have you as our newest steak grill master.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Got some folks steadily coming in. I know you know Sandy.
Sandy. Yep.
Yes. She #1 in points right now, if I recall. Is that correct?
She
First place in points.
Yes.
So congratulations, Sandy. Keep it up. I know that's a tough spot to be in because everybody wants your spot. So, but yeah, we got people steadily coming in. There's Marty.
you
Frank
doing,
Davis
Marty?
is on here. We got Troy Johnson. There's Mr. Terry Rome
Troy,
right there. So
Terry.
Scott's in. He is new to the
How you
SCA.
doing,
I think in
Scott?
his first competition he went to, he jumped right in there and had a top 10 finish. I think he finished 7th overall. There's Vanessa. Thank you guys for being partnered with us. We certainly do appreciate. We got a lot of folks coming in. Let us know if you got any questions for Matt. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? I think a lot of people want to know, was it barbecue? Was it steak? How did you get involved in this?
I did competition barbecue for about 12 years, but I started as a chef when I was 18 for a men's club. And I cooked about 400 steaks on every Tuesday for a men's club. And when I did that, it was amazing to learn how to cook a bunch of steaks all at one time.
So it started from barbecue, and then you got into the state competition. Is that how it transitioned?
Yeah, I was at a barbecue event in Boone, Iowa, and they had a SCA event there. And I'm just like, hey, I want to jump into that. And I did my first one, pulled a third, and I was hooked after that. And even everybody was like, you're gonna be hooked, and I was. I quit doing barbecue and went straight over to steak, and I've loved it ever since.
Wow. So where's the competition at? Was it up north where you live? Because a lot of people may not know. You're from Norwalk, Iowa, correct?
Yes, and it was in Boone, Iowa, so it was about 45 minutes north of me, and there was a double barbecue that day, and it was really cold, and I did one, and then I turned around and I went home. It was snowing and raining, and I was done.
I got you. Well, I see the lady named Cheryl that's on here. She's got hearts and mom, so I'm taking that must be your mom.
That is my mom.
I'll tell you what, you got to be proud of this young man, especially his accomplishments that he did last year, Cheryl. It's not too often you get to call your son a world champion, but he did it. So, all right, so you was into barbecue. After you did the barbecue stuff, you got over into the steak, cooked your first one, had a top 10, you said?
I got third place in that one, and then after that, I was like, man, I love it. So I hit up like probably 7 comps just around my area,
Right.
And I was having a blast doing it. And I'm like, I'm going to go to the World Championship. I said I was going to get my golden ticket in the first 6 comps the next following year. I did it on the 4th at Mason City, Iowa, and I was able to go to the World Championships for the first time.
Wow. Now, what year was that, Matt?
Let's see, 17.
Was that your first
2017.
full year of cooking? Was 2017, or was it
I
2016 that you did? You did your first. When did you do your first competition that you had a third place?
2016.
2016. You did a couple
Yep.
then, and then 2017 was your first full year.
Yeah, I did about 18 comps.
About 18 comps. Okay, your
Mhm.
first full year, and that was in 2017. Did 18, and then 2018. How did that year go for you?
I think I did probably about 25 comps, and I'm like, I went to the Worlds and I had a blast, and I'm like, I'm going to run for points next year. And I did.
And that was in
I said
2019.
2019, right at, well, it was in 2018, right after the Worlds. I started the week after the Worlds and went straight into Kansas the week after, and did every weekend from there. Anytime there was a comp, I went.
I got you. So 2019 is when you decided, okay, you're going after the points. You set aside, you had a game plan, you had got consistency of what you was doing good, and you wanted to make a run at the points champion, and that was in 2019. So, and then that's when you won the world champion at that year. Now, one of the things that I know that you had told me when we were filming your class, in 2019, you accumulated the most points ever recorded in one season in the SCA. And
Yes.
how many points did you have? Wasn't it over 300 or something?
346. 350 was my goal.
346 points. Wow.
I think Dan Judd had held the most points at the time with 208.
Wow. That's
And
a
I was
lot
able,
of
I
points.
was able to be at the contest when I broke 208 and Dan Judd was there, so it was kind of special.
Right. Wow. Yeah, Dan Judd's a great cooker himself. So,
Yes.
and I noticed you told me you had 6 first place that year. You had at least 6 second place, and numerous top 10 finishes. So,
Correct.
and it has to get that many points. I know you did quite a few competitions, But to go in and to get that many first place and second place in a single season, I think when we had talked to Terry Roan, he had the most first place ever in one year. I think it was in 2018. He had 8, plus he won the 2018 World Champion. So he said, really, I had 9 if you want to add that one and count it. But to be right behind him there, with 6 of them coming in and 6 second place, that's pretty special. I know that had to make you feel good.
Yeah, me and Terry battled back and forth in 2019. I mean, he was ahead of me. I was behind him. I was ahead of him, and we just went back and forth. Yep.
Wow. Well, Scott's got a question. How many competitions did you cook to get 346 points? You had to cook quite a few, at least 50.
Yeah, so there was, let's see, with World Food, and then the Worlds, I counted the Worlds and World Food. Without that, I think there would be 83 to 82 SCA events.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot of cooking. So,
but World Food qualifies as an SCA qualifier too. So if you get points for that also.
Right.
So.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, that's an amazing feat. Really is. It really.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and I don't know if my body will ever be the same from sitting in a truck so long.
Well, Jim said steak cooks are very addicting. Love the wicked pig. Apparently it is, Jim. So, and I tell you what, it's like anything. Once you get into it, the steak cooks, I don't cook steak. I do barbecue competitions. And the thing is, the barbecue competitions, there's just a lot longer. We only do one a weekend, and we did have our first doubleheader I ever cooked was a couple weeks ago on Labor Day weekend, and it was pretty neat. You cooked a Saturday, you turn around and cook Sunday. We was off for Monday. But man, you steak guys have doubles and triples all the time. And it's just not the long, when barbecue, we're Friday night prepping, you're getting everything done. Saturday, it's all day long cooking. You're going to have at least 6-8 hours cooking, and plus awards and this and that. And, you guys go in, roll up, cook, and y'all are gone in 3 hours and y'all ready for another one. I'm like, man, I would be scared if I got into that because I could see how it could get addicting. So.
A lot of sleepless nights. Me and Mr. Mark Huntley and Jeff Jacobson, we rode together a lot. Mark was pretty much my main guy, but we took Jeff in there for after a while, and we slept at truck stops, we slept at hotels. They say I don't drive, I sleep a lot, but Jeff does a lot of driving. He likes to drive, so
right.
We'd turn around and do a state comp in Iowa and turn around and drive 7-8 hours to Kansas or Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we'd pull in at 5:30 in the morning, and Cook's meeting to be at 8:30. So,
wow. Well, Sandy said it was a lot of fun watching you do it. So,
Sandy was right there with us.
Yeah.
Sandy and Tim. When we left, they were following us, or we were following them. Or John Green, we did a lot of traveling with John and Kerry Green.
Right.
Terry Rowan.
So a lot of cook. I tell you what. The barbecue, we always call our barbecue family. And what I'm seeing, I don't know a ton of the steak cookers. I know several of them, especially the Texas people and stuff like that I'm familiar when they go to barbecue competitions. I knew the Terrys, I knew the Allen. I didn't really know John Lindsay but I cooked in those areas, and I cooked with Alan Newton so many times. And, from what I'm seeing watching the Arcasipi live show with Ronald and John is, I tell you what, y'all have got a nice family of cookers, and it just seems like y'all are all just love doing it. You have a lot of fun doing it, and there's nothing more exciting than that. Just to get out, compete, have fun. I think I don't know if it was Scott or not, but one of them said it's like doing tailgating events except with family. And I don't know. I think that was Scott that said somebody had bought the class and said it, and it may not have been Scott, but then he was like, "Man, I had so much fun. This was my first one that I ever did, and it was like, a tailgating event with family, and a massive tailgating event because you have 50, 60 teams there. So, and it's easy to get hooked. Frank, I think he cooked his first one here this past weekend, and I think he had a 14th one day and a 15th the next day on a double header, first one he ever done, cooking against some really good teams, and he's hooked. Another guy we talked to, he was hooked. And, once you kind of jump in there, and the platform that we've given a lot of these cookers on BBQ Champs Academy to have the ability to go in to take the Terry Roan, the John Lindsay, the Alan Newton, the Shauna Rapolo, the Todd Machadas, and now your class, it's given these guys the tool sets and the skill sets to be able to go in and really compete and do very, very well. So
you're right. I think you're right.
I can see it just continue. That was the main thing behind me doing the deal with BBQ Champs, was to help grow the sport. I certainly was trying to help grow the sport for barbecue, but man, it seems like it is exploded with the steak stuff. So many people are jumping in, and the more people that you've given them the skill set to be able to go in, a couple of the guys that I've talked to are backyard cooks. They jumped in, they bought the steak classes, and they're like, man, I think man, these are good steaks. I think I want to go compete. And next thing you know, they take off, they go compete in a competition, and they're doing good. And it's just like, wow, this is great. So where do you see the future of the SCA? Here's Johnny Joseph. I don't understand why anyone doesn't do what I don't either, Johnny. So the barbecue
Johnny's
stuff
ran a long time.
Yeah, the barbecue stuff is tough. It's I don't know why I do it. I just do pretty good. I guess I'm stuck in it. I got access to a few cooking classes now. I could probably jump into the steak stuff and do pretty good. I've cooked one steak deal I really didn't play. I mean, I've kind of played at a barbecue competition, but one I was kind of serious at. And it was back in 2016, 2017. We got fourth place out of 60-something teams. And I was like, man, this is pretty good. I ain't never cooked a state competition since. It was one out of the month. They only paid the top three. And I was like, come on, man, that was crazy. So, but it's a lot of fun. It really is. And I don't know. I just think that it's going to continue to grow. Where do you see the sport of steak cooking, the organization of SCA from here? Do you see it continuing to grow, expand? What do you think?
I've watched it grow. I mean, so I think the first year I started, you could only go to about 130 to 140 comps. The next year was like 280. Then I think last year was like 350, and I think it's well over 400 this year. With COVID, I think we would have surpassed that, especially over in Australia and New Zealand and Europe. So,
wow,
I think it's going to get big. I mean, I can see it getting bigger because I can stay closer to home, which I like, and not travel as far. I love cooking in Texas, and I love cooking in the South, but I think it's going to grow into a really big sport.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I did not realize until after I kind of got going with BBQ Champs Academy that it was overseas in so many, in Australia. I know it's in New Zealand as well.
Yes.
Yes.
I just talked to some guys in New Zealand this afternoon and in Australia, and New Zealand doesn't even have COVID. There's like they have 100 people, I guess, in quarantine, and there is no virus there. So they're getting ready to be geared back up for barbecue and steak. So
I'll be dang. That's pretty cool. So, all right, Troy's got a question. Where are you cooking next?
I am cooking the triple in Cresco, Iowa, this weekend. And then the next weekend, or the 2 weeks from now, I'm cooking Troy Johnson's class up in Lakeville, Minnesota. He's got a triple up there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. He's got some amateur cooks that they are going to pay to come in and kind of shadow people, and then just kind of hang out and just kind of learn a little bit. They don't know anything. They're green, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's good. Well, it's fun. I always go in and mentor people and stuff like that. So, is there anything in the SCA that you would like to see that you think could improve it? What's your thoughts? I mean, as cooks, we always critique, especially in barbecue stuff. I wish they would do this in the judging. I wish this would be a little different. They do the best that they can. We only can voice our opinion. I don't know how the SCA is set up as far as who sets all the rules and stuff like that. I'm sure Brett probably has a lot to do with it. But what if there was one thing that you could change that you thought would help? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
The only thing I would say would be like the point system, to make it fair for everybody. Not that it's not fair now, but I'd like to see, take the best out of 40. Your most accumulative points out of 40, add those up, and there's your winner. That because it takes away from all our family and all our friends and just being gone every weekend. And not that it's not fun. Don't get me wrong. I loved every minute of what I did. But I'd like to see the point system changed. And give everybody a fair shot. That deserves
it levels the playing field. And it's funny that you say that, because that was the one thing that I harped pretty big on the IBCA, the International Barbecue Cookers Association, is that, I can only cook 15, 17 cooks a year. That's all I could cook. I just don't have time to do any more than that. And, so I never could make a run for the top 10 in IBCA, because you've got some guys, they're going to cook 40 competitions a year. There's just no way that I can compete with that. But one of the things that they changed the rules this year is they said, you can cook as many as you want. We're going to take your top 12. And I tell you what, and it really messed things up with COVID this year, because we were shut down for, goodness gracious, a big part. Well, I don't know. I think we lost about 6-7 weeks, but it leveled that playing field. And I tell you what, coming down to that, when they open it back up, that last 5 weeks, I'll tell you, everybody was fighting to get to the top spot. Philip Breeden came out on number 1. Lee Hickle was like in 10th or 11th place when they started up with 6 weeks to go. And he moved all the way back up to number 2, and he just needed a GC at his last one. I think he would have got back-to-back number 1 cooker of the year, but he was steadily coming up. Just ran out of time, didn't have enough cooks. And I think it might have been a whole different story if he had another 6 or 8 weeks. It may have changed all of that. But I'm like you. I think that is the one thing that it gives everybody a chance. And it's funny. We got a couple people saying, all right, first of all, I'm going to say, Matt says, yes, what you said. I think you're right. His question was, do you think, before you answered it, he popped in, do you think you should change the points to allow people that can only cook, say, 25 comps per year to be competitive in points, maybe an over 25 comps versus an under 25? Maybe that's a deal. Then if you did that though, Matt, you got 2 different people, you got 2 different groups, and how you going to get a world champion? I think the best way to do it is just like you said, look, let's do 25 or let's do 30. Get a number that the majority of people can do. That number may be 25, that number may be 30, 35, 40, whatever that number is. 40 is still a lot of cooks to go to. But just say that you could do 30. If you can go do 30 competitions, doesn't matter if you still do 50, but it just gives everybody a chance, because you take your worst one out, you move the points up. That's what they did with the IBCA. And I think that is something that would really, I tell you what, and I'll say this, I think that it will make more people want to get out and cook more competitions. It did me in the IBCA. I was like, okay, 12. I'm going to at least get out now, and I'm going to cook at least 17. And if I'm doing pretty dadgum good, I'm getting close to the top 10, who's to say that I wouldn't go do 18, 19, maybe 20, because I'm trying to get into that top 10. I'm not going to be able to cook. There's still some guys, I think Phil Breeden, he probably did 35, 40 competitions. He still did it, but he only got to count 12. Same with some of the other guys.
You can. I'm with you there. I mean, like I say, just you can cook as many as you want.
You can cook as many.
I mean, you can cook 100 of them. But I'd like to see that 40 realm. I mean, it just kind of keeps tire kickers off there, and just kind of makes people get out there and go a little bit. But I understand that some people can't go every weekend, and it's a lot. It's a lot of money. I mean, for everybody that knows or ran for a points chase, it's not cheap. So
it's hard, and it would help. It would help the cookers. It wouldn't tire them out. It wouldn't get them to where, man, I just, you had to take a break this year. I mean, you did a lot of cook-offs last year, and you're not in the top 10 right now, but I know that you can turn and burn.
I'm getting close.
You're getting close. You haven't cooked a lot, but you probably got burned out a little bit from last year doing that many, and you needed a little bit of a break. Imagine, okay, I've got this lead. I could have backed off a little bit. You may not have had to cook near as many, but hey, I'm throttled down. I'm in it to win it. I'm already ahead. Probably nobody was going to catch you. But still, I still think that is the one thing. I'm kind of agree with what you say. I think it would help the sport grow. if they had, hey, you 30, 40, whatever you think that number may be, and just say that's going to be how many we're going to have. You can do as many as you want, but if you cook 40 and they're only going to take the top 30, then you weed out the points, and that's going to help the cooker that does all of them. But at the same time, it gives the person that can only do 30 or 40, whatever your number may be, at least an opportunity to have a chance to level the playing field.
I don't know if it would help the SCA or hurt the SCA by doing that. That's kind of my mixed emotion a little bit. I mean, somebody maybe can chime in there and say something, but I think
here's a poll question. What do you guys think? Everybody that's on here that does SCA, do you think it would help the SCA and grow and make you want to do more competitions or not? That's a good poll question to put up. Put your comments down. We'll put them up. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, because they make money, and that's how we keep SCA alive, is by having a lot of comps and having a lot of people there. But if you made it so only some people had to go to 30, would they not get to that 60, 70, 80 range? Which we all did. So that's the limiting question, whether it's going to help or hurt. But all those other people, they might come right up in there, and instead of doing 20 like they normally do, they might get into doing 30 because they need to make it to that 30 spot.
Yep. Like I said, I think that is actually what would happen, because like I was saying just a minute ago, if I was close and they're only, like I said, IBCA is only going to cook 12, and I've only done 15, but I'm close enough I can go do a few more to knock some of my low ones off. Yeah, I may jump in there to do another 3 or 4. So you may have some that drop off a little bit, but you're going to have some that's going to come in there and go, man, I've got a shot at this. That man right there went wall to wall, wire to wire, Mr. Philip Breeden. He was the 2020 IBCA Cooker of the Year. Philip, great year, man. We was just talking about how IBCA just changed up the point system where they only take the best 12, and we was talking about would that be a good thing to do for the SCA, limit them to 30 or 40 competitions a year. So anyway, but I think it would. Some people might like it. Let's see what we got here. Not for me, but if you want to cook 40 plus, have at it, hats off. Yeah, I mean, that's just, once again, it's a lot of cooks. Somebody may not be able to do that many. Let's see what we got here. I think the number of teams per a comp would be fewer than you see now.
Right. Maybe a little bit, yeah.
It may drop it down a little bit. Is that a good thing?
I've seen the most I've ever seen at comps lately. I mean, I don't know if people are wanting to get out and cook, or they've been cooped up at home, or there's just that more people been cooking, because, I mean, some in the South, I see 77, 78, 80, 80 cooks in there. We're starting to get 40s in Iowa, 45, 50, sometimes 60 on a good triple. So
right.
I think the sport is already growing, but.
Yep. All right. Sandy says no. Everybody has the ability to earn a spot to go to the world champion with their golden ticket. There are many first-time cooks that earn their golden ticket on their first cook. Well, okay. That's the fun thing about polls like this. You'll get a lot of different things. So let's see what we got here. People that cook a lot of events or trying to win a points championship would still compete to improve their scores by the higher finishes. Well, see, here's another way of looking at it. So, especially
when you're sitting there in like the third or fourth spot, and you got to keep going to get to that number one, and even though you don't finish well, I mean, you could swing into a couple first place finishes and be right back up in there. So
yeah. Well, here's Philip Breeden. Now he's an IBCA cooker, barbecue. It brings more competitors into the mix. I think it would be great to take their best 12. Now, Philip, they're cooking a lot more competitions than us. We're talking about perhaps them doing 40. So, it just gives them, because they do cook a lot, and it gives them more of a chance to get a golden ticket by having more competitions to go to. So, let's see. I have not been to an SCA bet. People are just dying to be able to get out and just try to get out and cook. I mean, right now it's I mean, the good thing with SCA, y'all have not shut down, and y'all have got to cook. We've been shut down for the last probably 2 months with the IBCA. We were shut down for about 6 or 8 weeks. 8 weeks, I think. They opened it up for about 6 weeks, and they shut it back down. We've been shut down for almost 2 months now, 2.5 months, and it's killing us. We all want to go cook. And that's the one good thing I can say with the SCA. You guys have been throttled down. Y'all been good social distancing. Y'all working the system. You're following state and local guidelines. And so far, I don't think y'all have had any problem. And hats off to Ken and Brett for doing that and keeping it going, but keeping it going in a safe manner. So,
Yes.
I tell you, we're ready to go cook. I know the barbecue people. I got a feeling. I think we're all gonna just run out there and kill it. So, all right. So here we go. Scott's a new cook. Only cook 1 or 2 comps. Coming from a new cook, I like the current system. This week, the weekend warrior can still come out and compete, and the people that want to run the points chase can still win that title. Just my humble opinion. Thank you, Scott. That's the good thing about questions like this. So, yeah, maybe if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So,
Yeah.
that's one thing. Is there any other? We may not want to get into too many other things that you may or may want to change. So maybe it's good just the way it is. I know some of the people talk about the scoring system, the texture and the taste and this and that. Sometimes that does get difficult. You really do wish there was a way. I've seen a lot of doneness. Like, how did they get such a pitiful score? And it's a perfect, man. Are these people colorblind? Is it the lighting? I don't know. I know that's got a lot to do with it.
I like the judging system. I like all the judges. I think between barbecue and SCA, the SCA gives a really fair a judge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, I've been to a few comps that they're just horrible, but
Yeah.
on a weekly basis, it's mainly just true fair judging. I mean,
Yeah.
if you mess up, they let you know it, and I mean, if you cook it really good, they're going to let you know it too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. Just keeping it consistent. And y'all do have good certified judges, and that helps. Our poor IBCA stuff, man. We get to cook for the locals right off the street, so we never know who we're cooking for. So, and that makes it tough. It really, really does. It's not like any other type of judging where you've got some kind of certified judge. I mean, we never know who we're cooking for, what they like, or anything else. But we overcome, we adapt, we figure out how to make it work. Just cook that good down the middle of the road barbecue, and that usually will get you some grand champions when you're out competing. So, all right, let's see. Amen. Judging system's not a problem. Marty had talked about that. I believe y'all have got a very good judging system. Let's see. Here's a question for you, Matt. What kind of lighting do you view your practice steak under?
I view it under my tent, and then I view it in the natural sunlight. I like the natural sunlight. To me, it's going to give you the true color. But then I do stick it back under the tent and kind of pick my happy way of just kind of going with things.
Yeah.
I do check the lighting in the judging area almost every time. I ask where we're judging at. I think they made a rule about me and Mark Huntley one day. We were cooking in Wisconsin, and nothing on the rules says that you can't take your steak into the judging area. And we didn't take it into the judging area. We took it on the other side in the bar, and they made a rule about that. I think that we can't take it to the judging area. So
how about that?
No more of that. But just outside lighting. I mean, just check your light in there. Good LEDs, good, fluorescent, and check it out in the natural sunlight.
Yeah. Well, and I know that's the hardest thing is getting that doneness. That's the different lights affect it, and there's no
cloudy days.
Yeah.
Just the better, the more light it is in the judging area, the better off when checking it outside. If it's kind of dark inside, you can get away with a little bit less. I undercook it. We cooked in a parking garage one night in Waterloo, Iowa, and there was like one light in there, and it was 8:00 at night. And I looked over and I said, I'm undercooking this steak, boys. I'm gonna cook it medium rare. And I did. I got a perfect 50 and done this, and
right.
I ended up getting third that day. So
wow. Yeah, see there, pro tip. I know where a few pro tips are. And it's at your new class that you did just now for BBQ Champs Academy. We had the opportunity to bring Matt in here about a month ago and get his class filmed. And I tell you what, if anybody is looking for a class on cooking steak, not that we don't already have a few very, very good steak cookers with all the ones that we have with John and Terry and Shauna Rapolo and Alan Newton and Ty Machado. But we was certainly glad to be able to bring in Matt Ouverson. And I tell you what, you brought something a little different to the game. You know, the one thing I've often wondered when I see this is what's going to be a little different. You know, what techniques are going to be different. And everybody has something a little different that they do. And now what you're about to find out, and you're probably already finding out, these guys are not taking one class or two classes. They're going in and buying all the state classes. So they got your knowledge and Terry's knowledge and John's knowledge and Alan's and Shauna's and Ty. And I tell you what, it's making it, I think, pretty difficult for some of these guys that are giving these tell-all classes. And, you know, you want to know how good they are. I told you, same thing. When you come in here, we're going to lay it all out. We don't need to hold nothing back. I mean, I don't want it to look bad on BBQ Champs. I don't want it to reflect bad on me. I got his stuff. I can't even win. Man, John, Terry, all these guys, Shauna, Alan, these guys are rolling out there cooking their stuff. I don't know how many top tens that there was between all these classes this weekend. And people giving a shout out. For all those that are giving us shout outs, we do appreciate it tremendously. I'm telling you, it's been an honor to have you on here. And here's your newest class. We just put it up last night at 6:30. And I tell you what, Matt, you laid it out. You had some very unique things that I hadn't seen done before. I want to talk a little bit about your product. I know you own Wicked Pig. You've got a rub. Yes. You got a marinade. I know you was telling me it took you over 2 years to develop that marinade, and it is a very, very good marinade. But there was the steak you cooked for BBQ Champs Academy in your cooking class. You can get the ribeye steak. You can get the red tie chili wings. My goodness gracious, those things were absolutely delicious. You get both of them for $169. If you buy the All Access package, you get that right there, an All Access page, a private Facebook page where you can ask Matt questions along the way. We just got the page up today. Everybody that has already bought the class, which we have had numerous people already buy the class, we will get you added to his page here. Just give me another day. We'll start sending the invite out. But there was your steak. 6 videos, how to select and trim, how to marinate the steak. Like I said, that was something a little bit different. And you have got a very, very good marinade. Which steak rubs to use, how to apply, management of the fire, and how to set it up. You did an excellent job explaining that, how to cook the steak to perfection. And then we boxed that bad boy up. And I'm telling you, there it was. I thought it was an absolutely perfect steak. Very, very good flavor. Flavor profile is a little different than what we had seen with some of the other ones. And but it's bbqchamps.com. Just scroll right down on the home page to our Steak Grill Masters, and you'll see Matt's class right at the bottom there. You can click it and go directly to his page. But I tell you what, buddy, it was certainly an honor to be able to have you part of our academy. And I think people is going to learn quite a bit from your class. You are a very talented young man, and I think it shows.
I had a guy reach out to me last night that took the class and on Messenger, and he said I highly recommended it. It was a great class, and he goes, "Man, you did a few little different things that I never thought I would have saw coming." And I'm like, it works.
That's what we try to do. I catch you guys off guard a lot of times. I'm asking a lot of questions, and I know sometimes I may ask them like, "Man, where did that one come from?" But hey, we don't edit, we don't cut. If you ever notice our videos, they roll. I mean, we never break. If I ask him a question, he better answer it. So, and I do that with all of them, the barbecue guys and everybody. Like, whoa, I didn't think I was gonna have to answer that, but. You know, that's the thing. By me being right there with you, I'm constantly asking you questions. I'm constantly digging information out of you. And to me, that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I just think that
You answer. I did some in person classes and stuff, and you ask more questions than the whole class does. So it's
good.
pretty crazy.
That's good. But that's what I'm trying to do, and we feel like that's how it helps people grow. So to get that information, I've had so many people like, you're sitting there talking, and I was like, man, I need to know the answer to this. And you asked that question. It's like you read my mind. I was like, I try to think of everything. I come off pretty dumb on the show that I don't really know what's going on. But I'm doing that because I'm trying to put myself, if I was sitting here across you and I didn't know nothing about this, what I would be asking to get, from you to get the information. And anyway, I tell you what, it's a great class. You can buy the individual steak for $149. You can get the steak along with the red tie chili wings for $169. It's only $20 more. You get a $30 discount when you buy the two together. That gets you the all access page, the all access package, and then that gets you access to a private Facebook page where these guys are constantly going in and talking to you and helping you. And if there's something that you're struggling with, everybody has been very upfront to try to help. Terry, John, Shauna, they're all just jumping in there to try to help with any way they can. They want to see everybody succeed. So,
Definitely.
all right. Here's another quick question. What can you do for consistency and texture? I know that's the $1,000 question, but that is what kept me out of the top 10 both days. So Frank cooked his first competition this weekend. I think he had a 14th and a 15th. Yeah, there you go. You want to know what's going to get you a nice texture. That stuff right there. Now, I'll tell you right now, you better know how to use it. Because you'll end up having a steak that'll look like a piece of it'll look like a piece of wet bread soaked in water for about 3 days.
Follow the instructions. Follow the instructions.
You definitely showed in your class how to go about doing it. And I think that was really unique with what you do with that steak. It is very, very good marinade, unbelievable flavor. And
we talked about chicken the other day.
Yeah.
My dad did some chicken with it, just kind of play around with it, and it does, soften that skin up. So yeah,
soften it up. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's good. It is Wicked Pig. You own your own line of rubs and marinades. I know you told me when we was filming your class, it took you about 2 years to develop that marinade, and you've got it out. I know a lot of people carry it. One of our partners is Papa Joe Grilling Supply. We have partnered with him to work with him on all the steak stuff that you've got. Every rub and marinade that you used in your class, I think he carries every bit of it. We kind of worked with him. We made sure that he brought everything in, even on the red tie chili stuff. I think there was some stuff that we used from Loot and Booty. I think he was working on even trying to bring that in. So the cool thing, guys, is you are watching these videos now. If you've got Matt's class or if you've got our other classes and you're watching the video, as soon as you close that video, up underneath it is a link to Be Extreme, to Papa Joe, to B&B, to whoever, all the people that we have as our partners that we've named off earlier. This is the list of them. All of these logos are directly up underneath your set of videos that you have. So if there was something in that class that it said, hey, I need this, and it was Be Extreme, well, then you're right there. All you have to do is click it, and you can go right there. If you're trying to find a one-stop shop for everything, and I understand there may be times that you need to do that, you can go to Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. He has a pretty good bit of the stuff that we have, especially on the barbecue stuff. But Papa Joe Grilling Supply has everything that Matt has. He probably carries 99% of everybody else's stuff. If he's carrying John Lindsay's stuff, he probably has almost every single thing that was used in the filming of all of our Steak Grill Master classes. And we have done that. We have worked with these guys to make it super easy for anybody that buys our classes, that they don't have to worry about it. I can be watching, I can go in, I can just click the logo, it shoots you directly over to their website. You can add it to your cart and go right on back watching it. When you get done, you can hit the checkout cart. You got everything there. It's a one-stop shop. So we do want to, once again, appreciate all of our partners that's come in to do this, and we've done it to make it easier for you, where you can have a one-stop shop. Man, you did an outstanding job. But that marinade that you've got and some of your other rubs, they are really, really good. So appreciate everything that you're doing. Yeah.
The Cajun seasoning.
Yeah, the Cajun seasoning is great.
And then the Cajun garlic butter.
That was the one my film crew about was going to knock me out to get. Now, you're not getting out of here with that one. So that garlic Cajun butter is phenomenal, and it's good. You've knocked a home run with those. Let's see if we got any more questions. That's the link. BBQ Champs Grill Master Matt Ouverson. Yeah, just go to bbqchamps.com. That's the homepage. You can scroll right on down to the State Grill Masters, and you are there. So Michael says, hello, Mr. Wicked Pig. Yep, that is the man. So, I tell you what, it's a lot of fun doing these classes, and I'm just trying to think, is there anything else that you want to cover? I know that we've talked a pretty good bit about your journey and your rub. How long did it take you to develop your other rubs and stuff? I know it took a couple years on the marinade.
Yeah, my dad had a little bit of a hand in doing some design and work on that, some of that stuff. He likes Cajun food, so that's why the Cajun stuff is around. I do have a steak rub and an all-purpose coming.
Okay.
It's just those spice companies right now, like the ones that I get my marinade from. I talked to him the other day about getting some more marinade, and I'm like, "How fast can you get it?" He's like, "Hey, Matt, we're the busiest we've been in 97 years, so." They are swamped just like everybody else. So jars are an issue. They're just switched everything over to make hand sanitizer jars. So
Right.
plastic is really hard to find right now. So everybody's struggling with that. So everybody needs to, kind of hold on. We're working on getting everything to you. Some people are out of stuff, and we just can't do it fast enough.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's like that in everything. I don't care what industry you're in. I mean, everybody's doing the best they can with all this COVID mess going on, and just hopefully this is going to go away sooner than later. So,
Me too.
yeah, I think we're all ready for it. Let's see, we got somebody else that I just saw cooked in a competition, and I'm trying to get to as many of these as I can. Where was that one? There it is. I can't find it. I just seen it. Anyway, there it is, right there. Had a third and a seventh place. I don't remember if that was. I think he'd been cooking in past. This is not his first rodeo, but took a class. Do you know Daza? I think they're from overseas, if I recall.
Yeah,
So
I want to say they are.
I think they were. So anyway, has anybody got any other questions for Matt? This is the perfect time. Matt, we're going to ask for, as always, do you have one of them pro tips that you can sneak out to help the backyard person, especially? We got a lot of backyard cookers on here as well. So is there little pro tips that you can come up with? Fire management, this, that. What do you think would be the one thing that would help somebody in the backyard, maybe even a competition person as well?
Get familiar with your fire and learn how to use your grill. Your grill will tell you where it wants to be. Just like your smoker. My smoker likes to run at 325. Know your grill. When I shut the lid on the PK 360, I know every time, because I put the same amount of charcoal in there, where it's going to go. And I know right where I'm cooking at every time.
Yeah.
I could almost do it with my eyes closed. I know that grate is going to be the same in both places. New Zealand, okay.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand. That was the one thing I noticed in your class when you set up your grill for your fire management. And we're not going to tell anybody how you do it. If you want to know how he does it, it's in the video. But that was pretty unique the way that you did that. And it was, I hadn't seen that done before. And
I tweaked it a little bit, but a guy named Dan Judd kind of helped me on that one. But I've taken it and grown it my own little way of doing things. He spreads his a little bit more. You've seen how I did mine. I do mine just a little different.
Scott wants to know what grill you're cooking on now.
I cook on a PK BBQ 360.
Yeah.
I bought that back in 2000, it was late 18, I think right around Christmas time. And then I started in on that, and I've never looked back. I've had some, people want me to cook on Hasty Bake, and I'm just stuck on my 360. The only other grill I might switch over to would be an M16 grill, but they're a little heavy for traveling.
Right. And briquettes. I know you're a charcoal B&B boy. You there? Did we lose you?
Are you there?
Yeah, there we are. I think I lost you there just for a second. So, you use a B&B, don't you? B&B charcoal? Uh-oh. Maybe having a little internet connection here. All right, you there? Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you.
Okay, I think we're losing connection. He had asked a question like on your charcoal, and we did drop him. Let's give him a second. Maybe he'll be back. We got a few people popping in. Mr. John Lindsay, I was wondering where you was, buddy. Glad you were here. We hadn't had any technical difficulties at all. And then all of a sudden, Matt just lost connection, but we'll give him just a second and see if he can pop in. Maybe we'll give him just a chance here and see if he can come in. Yes, Danny, his sister has been killing it. I think she had a top 3 finish this weekend. It seems like she finished 3rd place this weekend, but Matt's kind of taken his sister under her wing and helped her out, and she has just been doing extremely well. Let's see if he's still trying to come back in. We'll give him a second. But yeah, it's been a great watching Matt. Not only is he brought out his classes, but he's tutoring his sister as well, and I know she is excited as all get out. So, well, John, I understand having to work. I'm glad that you at least was able to make it. Yes, he does use, for the question that was asked, he does use B&B briquettes. So that was one of the that we used inside the cooking class. So, okay, we got our first win this weekend. So there we go. Yep, another Team B&B. Matt has done an outstanding job. Team B&B Charcoal, I really love the product. If you didn't get a chance to see the live podcast that we did here a couple weeks ago with Ed Riley, he really explained all the difference in the charcoals and stuff. And it was quite fascinating to hear the difference between the charcoal, the lump, the char logs, and all of that. And it was quite unique and quite different. Well, let's see if he can hear us now. I saw he popped up for just a second, popped back out. We may end up not being able to get him. We'll give him just another second. Yeah, Philip, I'm with you. I love my B&B. It is great. Another one that I have tried and done very well with is lumberjack charcoal. That is another very, very good lump. It's another great one. If you're having some trouble getting B&B, and a lot of people are, you might want to try, if you're looking for a lump charcoal, the Lumberjacks Premium is very good as well. Anyway, if anybody's got any other questions for me, let me know. We hope to be back again next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. I hate that he keeps trying to log in. He keeps having some difficulties. And he's going to try it maybe one more time. Are you there? Coming in. We can put men on the moon, but we can't keep people connected long enough. So there you are. And we just been kind of talking. We do know that you're using B&B. We did kind of answer that.
Yep.
Anyway, but we were going to go ahead. Matt, is there any other thing that you have to say or want to talk about?
Man, I like the SCA. I like the SCA family, all my family and friends. My sister's got to cooking with me now, and she just won last weekend.
Yep, we just posted that when you was running away. Got her first win this weekend, so we was.
And then my buddy Jeff Jacobson, he won the same weekend. The same comp that she did was a double. Friend Mark Huntley, he won the Decorah, and then I won Mason City a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. So our crew has had a great run the last few weeks. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've done very well. If you are having problems, we've just been told that if you're having problems finding B&B products, Papa Joe Grilling Supply, they have it. So, and I know he had a huge selection when I had talked to him last. So, Troy, thank you. Thank you being here. We thank everybody
you,
for being here tonight. Our little channel is steadily growing. We haven't been doing this but a couple months, but we're steadily getting out there. And we've got some great cooks. We keep trying to bring more information. We've got some more people that we're trying to get in, like Brian Crawford last week on rubs and stuff. So we may be talking here pretty soon to Danny over at Be Extreme. And he's got a massive line of rubs and sauces that I'm sure a lot of people would like to know about, how to use. We're also working to try to get Craig Sherry in here with Texas Pepper Jelly. He's got a whole new line of rubs. All his pepper jellies and sauces is amazing. So we're going to try to get him in here as well. Chris Linskett, already taken your class, said it was absolutely great. Michael, if you're looking to take another class, you absolutely need to take this one. It is absolutely amazing. I do not think you will be disappointed, as you haven't been disappointed with any of them. We just really try to bring it. Guys, I've had a great time. Matt, thank you once again for coming on. Thank you for being part of BBQ Champs Academy as we continue to search out for some of the best steak cookers in the country and give them an opportunity to be able to put their videos out for everyone. We want to see, our mission is to grow the sport of barbecue and steak cooking. And the best way that we can do that is having world champions to come in here and lay it on the line and teach people the techniques and the recipes and the pro tips and the secrets that you guys do to get you into that place. And thank you dearly for being part of BBQ Champs and for everything that you do. We thank everybody for joining us tonight.
Yes,
Matt,
thank you very much.
I appreciate it. We will definitely be more in touch. We've got some big things coming. It's coming down the line. It won't be long. You will know it when it hits. And I'm going to say it's going to probably be another 3 or 4 weeks because we're still working on it. But I'm telling you guys, you make sure you continue to be here. And we're going to make that announcement, and it's going to be something big and spectacular that we've been working on. I can't wait to release it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope everybody will enjoy it. Your sister says, awesome show. And Marissa, I hope one day I'll get to meet you as well. So you got a great brother, and I know the guy loves you dearly, and he certainly got you under his wing to help you. And it looks like you're going to just continue to take right on off, and you're going to tell him, kick rocks, get out of the way. I've got this.
She might be. You might be seeing the next, the future points champion right there.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Maybe so. Anyway.
2021.
Yep. Well, guys and gals, we appreciate you being here. Until next time, have a lot of fun, smoke on, and we'll see you next Tuesday, Lord willing, at 7 p.m. Central.